Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following. Specializing in sports medicine, the Valparaiso Orthopedic Clinic continues their strong support of local athletes. Each Saturday morning, local athletes are invited to attend a sports injury assessment clinic from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Valparaiso Orthopedic Clinic, 2501 Cumberland Drive in Valparaiso. Hollywood Star Limo for business or pleasure, weddings, airport, proms, riverboat trips. You can make any event special when you travel like the stars. Hollywood Star Limo, 1-800-230-7393.
And by the financial support of viewers like you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Valparaiso University football. Along with head coach Tom Horne, this is Todd Eichel. Today we take a look back at Saturday's thrilling 34-21 victory over Evansville. We'll welcome in starting guard Evan Fitzgerald, and we'll preview Saturday's upcoming ball game against the Dayton Flyers. First, though, we visit with the head coach, Tom Horne, who's obviously thrilled with Saturday's outcome, a 34-21 victory over Evansville. And, Coach, suddenly back in the race for a conference title. It's not out of the question right now.
Well, we've got to win Saturday, of course, against Dayton, and we have to hope that Evansville knocks off Butler, and then we can tie for the conference title, which is one of our preseason goals. And I know our players will be happy, and our fans and the school will be elated that VU would have a conference title after many, many years of not having one.
And, Coach, the big performance on Saturday turned in by Ozzie Young. The biggest offensive showing by any player since you've been at VU, 329 all-purpose yards, rushed for over 200, caught passes for over 100 yards, player of the week in the Pioneer Football League, and well-deserved.
You bet. We'd like to congratulate Ozzie, of course, from our coaching staff, as well as the television show that he made Conference Player of the Week. It's a great honor. And knocked off Arnold Mickens, who'd been winning it handily week after week, Mr. ESPN. So we're glad to see that Ozzie got that accolade this week, and well-deserved.
And it's fitting that as we go to the videotape, we'll see the very first highlight we show is that of an Ozzie Young run. First series of the game, and, Coach, you had a lot of success going outside on the option.
I know we talked about last week about their perimeter speed and ours being better, and we want to get the ball to Ozzie and in his hands or in Nick's hands. Evansville chose to give the ball to Ozzie. They take away certain things on the option, and they let Ozzie run it, so we let him run it too.
Big play on the opening drive. It was 3rd and 14, and Nick Browder got a lot of time, good pass protection, and found Doug Holock, who found the first down yardage.
Yeah, great route by Doug there. We needed 14 yards, and he got 16. Senior captain did a great job for us there.
This time under heavy pressure on 3rd and 5, Browder up top, and a great job by Joe Fenolio, the concentration and keeping feet in bounds.
Yeah, Joe was the #1 receiver there. A great side adjustment between Joe and Nick to make that completion.
That set up a 1st and goal. You'll notice Ozzie slip a little bit, but have enough to get into the end zone. And once again, the Crusaders on the opening drive. It's been a trademark. Very impressive.
I mean, you got to do that. You got to get your defense some breathing room a little bit there and get out on top. And eventually, if you keep getting out on top, which we do in this game, you can set the tempo of the game. You can do things differently on defense than you normally do. You can gamble a little bit on offense. You can break the game more wide open, and that's what we want to do offensively. And
then defensively, first series for Evansville, 4th and long, actually, and Tom Cunningham from behind with the hit, the fumble. John Palyak picks it up. We'll see that later on in the game, the same combination.
The same duo with a break at the end of the game, of course, a little more exciting at the end of the game when it happens.
This is a play which hurt you a week ago, the middle screen, and this time you're ready for it. Good job by Matt Culp.
Great job spying the middle screen by Matty Culp. Excellent, excellent job.
That allowed the Crusaders to take the ball back over, and we're going to see Ozzie Young out of the backfield. On 3rd down, needed to break that tackle to get the first, which he did, and took it up the sideline, picked up 23.
We did a great job on 3rd and 4th down conversions on Saturday, and that's an example of one of those right there.
2nd and 10, and we're going to see Browder on the roll. He got a lot of time throwing the ball, especially when he rolled out on Saturday, hit Darren Rodriguez for 9.
Darren coming in, giving Ozzie a break there. He needed a rest every now and again to rest up for his running exploits.
4th and 3, you go and pick up 4.
Key block by Trevor Bell there. Excellent job by Trevor. which helped us get the first down, keep the drive alive.
Another third down conversion coming up, 3rd and about 9. Again, the roll and great adjustment coming back to the football, Scott Heinrichs, who also had to keep the feet in bounds.
Right, he's running a post corner there, and the guy was behind him, so he made an adjustment to come up and nick to it there, and both athletes did a great job.
3rd and 1. As we move to the second quarter, Ozzie nearly gets in the end zone on the blast, takes it down to the 1-yard line.
And you'll see right here, Trevor Bell. They've got a guy coming off the edge here on the left who's going to quarterback, and they can't tackle Trevor. And he squeezes into the end zone.
John Lyon, good job blocking down on the tackle.
Right, John, we ran that dive play all day long on John Lyon's side.
So the Crusaders go up 13-0, and extra points continue to be an adventure.
Yeah, and we just can't seem to get the ball kicked high enough on extra points. I don't know what the deal is, but we've worked hard in practice with our kids kicking the ball high. We put the ball on the goal line, which is 10 yards from the goalpost, and make them kick it, until they get close enough where they kick the ball with height, and we're just not doing it there. So we got to work some more on that, I guess.
Good job by Tom Evans of saving the 2 points. They come out on a reverse, and here's the Andrean grad, Trey Barnes. He had a big ball game on Saturday for Evansville.
Outstanding athlete, I think, should get the ball more in their offensive scheme. Only had 12 catches, which is 2 a game before us, and had 7 in our game, plus ran the ball here. Good athlete.
Shane Snyder will come up with his 5th interception in the past 5 games. Does a good job reading the play, steps in front of the receiver. I'm going to assume that Fish never saw him.
Yeah, I mean, Shane does a great job of pattern recognition. When he gets enough reps in practice and knows what the opposition is running pattern-wise, he can step in and make some big plays.
Very next play. Again, most successful play of the day was the option. Here you come out, and Trevor makes the key block downfield. Ozzie with the hurdle, and into the open where he's so dangerous. Picked up 27 on that play.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job by Kevin McHale blocking there, as well as John Kreider. And, of course, Trevor Bell with the key one there in the cut.
3rd and 38.
This is our 3rd and 38 play here that I've got on my play sheet that I take with every game.
And there's Ozzie, who somehow gets beyond the defense for the touchdown, 57 yards. And, that's something you just can't count on, right? Picking up your 3rd and 38. You go for 2, and Doug Holock can't get to the football. And it goes incomplete.
Sometimes in some games you see when the defender pushes the guy, they throw a flag, but
they decided not to.
They decided not to.
Great defensive play. Ronnie Sazzone reads the slant. Very tough play to cover, and he did it perfectly.
A lot of pressure on our corners Saturday for man-to-man coverage against this top passing offense in the conference. They did a pretty good job.
Blown coverage. In fact, we couldn't even see it. Stinson wide open, and he beat Shane Snyder to the end zone, and that gets Evansville on board and really back in the game.
Yes, I'm sure Shane is bad that they couldn't see it either. But yeah, we seem to get up on people. We're 21-10.5 on San Diego, and we're up 3 touchdowns on Evansville. We've got to punch them out. Can't let them back in the game.
McClure is going to add the point after. And now it's 19-7, and you could sense a momentum change here. It certainly looked that way because Evansville's defense picked it up, and that was a big key. We're going to see Nick Rauter get picked off, a long pass, looking for Michael Tolbert. That was excellent man-to-man coverage. Josh Miller makes the pick-off, and you can see Evansville obviously fired up right now.
Yeah, and with a passing offense like they have, you always feel like you're in the game, even if you're a couple touchdowns down. And right now they're 2 down, and we're getting back in the game here.
Play which hurt you a little bit. They were able to sneak back out of the backfield, get them out in the flats a little bit. That was one of their more successful plays. That worked for 24 to Albano. And now we're going to see Albano go off left tackle and get right now near the end zone. Ronnie Sazzone does save the touchdown, but Evansville starting to roll here offensively.
Yeah, we didn't do a good job getting gap cancellation on the weak side. And they ran the play a lot to that side, and I'll do it again right here.
Left tackle again, and into the end zone goes Albano, and suddenly a 19-point lead is down to 5 after McClure adds the extra point. Again, Coach, do you feel maybe the team needs to have a little more killer instinct? Is it lacking some of that killer instinct, perhaps?
I think we proved that Saturday. I think in the San Diego game we proved that. We've got to get out on people, and just like a drowning person, you don't give them a hand, you keep them underwater. I mean that's kind of like the mentality you have to have as as an athlete, you want to go for the knockout punch. You got to have that killer instinct.
And an outstanding job by Nick Browder on the quarterback draw. Picked up 28 yards there late in the first half. That at least forced Evansville after the punt to be deep in their own territory. And we're going to see Tom Cunningham go right by the All-American Hans Hogue with a sack. And that ended the first half highlights with the Crusaders up by 5, and certainly a situation, Coach, where you probably felt in the locker room that you should have been up by more points.
Most definitely. And we talked about in the offensive locker room, hey, we're up by 5. I mean, we had a lead. We don't have it anymore, but we're still up by 5 at half. And I think before the game, if somebody tells you, if you start at halftime, you're up by 5, would you take it? You'd probably say in most cases, yeah. So we've got to just readjust our thinking and say, hey, we're the better team. We're up by 5. Let's go out there and prove it.
Crusaders played well in the second half. You were able to move the football and played extremely well defensively. We'll show you those second half highlights when we return on Valparaiso University football.
Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following. National Bank of Valparaiso, with 13 offices throughout Porter County, working hard to meet the needs of the community. First National Bank of Valparaiso offers simple fixed-rate car loans with fast, personal, pre-approved service. First National Bank of Valparaiso, strengthening their commitment to Porter County. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender. Finley Construction, serving the building needs of commercial and residential properties throughout Northwest Indiana. Finley specializes in designing and building your new construction, remodeling, addition, and restoration projects. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Finley Construction, 462-2726.
Mike's Sporting Goods, your team sports professional. Mike's has NFL and college team crews and jackets from Starter, Russell, and others. A great selection and Mike's great value. For your team sport needs, Mike's has it. Shoes from Nike, Reebok, Converse, plus uniforms, trophies, custom screen printing, school jackets, equipment, and more. Mike's Sporting Goods, Maryville, Crown Point, Hobart, and Michigan City.
And by the financial support of viewers like you.
Welcome back, everybody. As we go to the second half highlights, we'll see early in that second half the Crusaders' defense did a fine job. And, Coach, here you go on a sack. Matt Culp, first play of the second half. And you need to establish that defensively because Evansville had the momentum going.
Well, we started out second half like we end the game, sacking quarterback Eric Fish.
Come out on the option. Good job by Ozzie Young. Gets the outside, picks up a first down, and that came on a key 3rd and 6. That allowed the Crusaders to keep the drive alive. And here's a touchdown which is called back. Ozzie would have had 4 scores on the day.
Great job of blocking by Doug Holock over there, and they decided to call in for a legal block in the back. But if you maintain contact with somebody and turn them back on you, that's not really a penalty. So we lost a touchdown there.
Took the points off the board, but again, defense does a great job. John Harrington stops the draw. Albano losing a yard on the play, and the draw was not a successful play for Evansville on Saturday.
No, they ran it 4 or 5 times and didn't get much out of it, so our defense did a great job defending the drop play.
And a good job by Jeff Seymour from his inside linebacker spot. Stops the sweep on Gibson as Seymour shows his quickness. Crusaders get the football back, and here we go. Off to the races, Ozzie Young, 84 yards, breaks the tackle, and when it becomes a foot race, of course, no one will catch Ozzie Young.
Doug Hole out there escorting him to the end zone, making sure that nobody catches him, which we know there's nobody on the field that can anyway. But I didn't even see him score because I was searching the grass for flags.
Looking for flags. I think that was the feeling by just about everybody. Where is the penalty? Unfortunately, there was no penalty flag on the field. Crusaders get 6 and actually turn it into 8. You go for 2, and Daryl Jackson open, and Nick Browder on the money, and now it's 27-14.
Yeah, great job by Nick there. Nick called the play when we were going. He came by and said, let's run the out cut to Daryl. He'll be open, and he was. Good job by Nick there, recognizing that in the defensive.
Great pressure, John Palyak, and great coverage. Again, the secondary doing a fine job. That was Andre Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy had a good job of coverage, and as we saw earlier, running his own as well, our 2 corners.
Unfortunate here, Ozzie calls for a fair catch and misjudges the ball a bit, and Evansville gets on it at the Crusader 18-yard line. And that was really the play that Evansville needed to get back in the football game. But as it turned out, the defense really able to rise up, and we're going to see a great play. Jeff Seymour puts the pressure on. Fish steps up, and John Harrington causes the fumble, and eventually it is Seymour who gets on the football.
Rightly so, and John Pyatt right next to it there, too, as well, putting a lot of pressure on. John and John, both Johns, Harrington and Pyatt were around the football all day, as well as Tom Cunningham.
Fourth quarter now, Evansville with the football, and Tom Cunningham, who had another big day in the backfield, stops Albano for a loss of a yard.
Tommy Cunningham, he seems to be getting better every week. Just doing a great job for us at that will linebacker position.
Key third down. Here they go. Fish trying to go up top. The ball is tipped, and it's a great catch right there by Barnes. Josh Burning with the tip. It was actually on a second down. Here's the third down play. We're going to see great coverage by Andre Murphy.
He got a hand in there. Ball was a little bit thrown behind him, but we made the play, and then here we see now
on fourth down now.
Eric Miller, number 90, left defensive tackle, coming from the top of the screen. Throws blocker away and makes a sack.
Great job.
Big play.
Great job. On a fourth down to give the Crusaders the ball back. Maybe it turns out to be maybe one of the key defensive plays of the game, because they score there. They're down by just one touchdown. And as it turns out, on the very next series on the Crusader punt, this is Sean Stinson, who nearly breaks at the distance. He gets to the wall on the top side. It's Matt Gladchen who saves the touchdown, but puts Evansville obviously in business at the Crusader 5.
Now we had 3 or 4 guys miss tackles there, and it was a low kicked right to the guy. It was almost like we threw a pass right at him, and we got kicked away from that a little bit.
2 plays later, Albano into the end zone, and middle of the fourth quarter, as you see, Evansville will add the point after, and then they're down by just 6 points, and now you start thinking about that San Diego game a little bit.
Oh, the thought did cross my mind, Todd. As it probably did everybody else's, but our guys rose to the occasion. When you go through a San Diego situation, you got to learn from it. I think we did.
And you did a great job on the ground. You actually used over 5.5 minutes off the clock. Ozzie Young picks up a first down on 2nd and 5. And a big first down. We're going to see actually 2 more big first downs. How about this play, Coach? 3rd and 6. Talk about this. We'll see a lot of pressure up the middle on Nick Browder.
Same play as we ran a 2-point conversion on, Todd. And Nick is getting nailed as he throws it, completes it, and Darrell breaks the tackle and gets the first down. Big play.
Said he stepped out of bounds near midfield. Here's a 2nd and 11. Maurice Watkins, after Trevor Bell went out with an injury, picked up about 8 or 9 on 2nd and 11. That was a big play.
Good job of fighting for yards there. Maurice did not want to go down.
4th and inches, and you go back to Maurice Watkins, and he actually gets hit just shy of the marker, but is able to fall forward for the first down.
Did a great job. You don't see it from this side angle, but the other side on the sideline, you can see him, his leg drive and pushing through that guy. A great effort for first down yardage.
4th and a yard, and a great defensive play by Evansville to give him the ball back. That was Lake Central grad Bob Mihalik with the play to give the Aces the ball back with about a minute to go in the ball game. On 3rd and 15, Fish goes up top to Barnes across the middle. We're going to see really a key tackle by Shane Snyder in the open field. Otherwise, Barnes gets out of bounds, stops the clock, picks up more yards. But they do get the first down there. And now with 31 seconds to go, we're going to see Tom Cunningham come from the blind side, make the hit. And it's John Palyak who picks it up and goes the distance to seal the victory.
Really happy for the Bricky senior. Defensive lineman's dream is to pick off a pass or pick up a fumble and go for a touchdown. He was able to do that during his career here, so we're really elated for John Palyak.
A little trouble putting on the brakes there. And after a celebration penalty against the Crusaders, it's a 35-yard extra point, and Billy Dukes squeezes it inside the far upright. 34-21 is your final score. Crusaders to 5-2 on the year, and we'll see not only did they win the game, but they dominated statistically. The stats will show the Crusaders did a great job of stopping Evansville on the ground, and also did a great job as far as turnovers go. 4 turnovers for Evansville, and Coach, that one of many key stats. And again, I look at the rushing stats, 266 for VU, just 13 for Evansville. Obviously factor in a lot of sacks there, actually both ways.
Right, we had 2 turnovers ourselves. Of course, you try and have 0, but like we did against Butler in the rain. But we had 2 ourselves, and I know with the penalties that really hurt us on Saturday.
21 penalties, 174 yards. So you survived the penalty factor.
We did. You know, the 2 previous games we had 7 total penalties in 2 games. All of a sudden we have 16 in the first half. So either we've all of a sudden lost a lot of discipline or something else is going on.
Maybe a combination of a few things there.
Right.
All right, scores from around the league. We will see that the Crusaders not only posted a victory, but got help from Dayton as Drake drops their second game in conference. So Drake finishes up 3-2, and that was the game which you needed. You needed that combination, the BU win, the Dayton victory, to give yourself a chance to share for the conference crown.
Absolutely. And now this week we need Evansville, of course, to beat Butler, and we have to win ourselves, but that's in our hands. Some of the other things are in other people's hands, so if Evansville can come through, Butler's worst pass defense in the league, and Evansville the best passing game, so we'll see what happens.
So there you see. Here's how we explain it. If Butler gets beat, they finish 3-2. Drake's already finished up 3-2. If Valpo beats Dayton, they finish up, at best, 3-2. And the Crusaders, of course, would finish up 3-2 as well. And San Diego and Dayton will meet at the end of the year, so one of them will actually have 3 losses. So, Coach, if you win and Butler gets beat, well, then we're looking at a 4-way tie.
Right. And whether we're in first alone or we're tied for first, we'll take either one of them.
You'll take either one. A big performance by the offense, Coach. You challenged the offensive line, and they did the job, and thus we welcome in Evan Fitzgerald, 2-year starter on the offensive line. And first, Evan, congratulations. I know you have to feel like a lot of pressure on the offensive line because there had been some problems in the past game and a half, and obviously when 470 yards are racked up, you have to give a lot of the credit to the offensive line.
Yeah, we were happy with the way we played on Saturday. We made a lot of mistakes that we shouldn't have made in terms of being the 7th game. We shouldn't be jumping off sides, but the blocking we did, I mean, Ozzie rushes for 225 yards, sets a new school record. That's pretty much a lineman's dream. We're not going to get the headlines, but when that happens, everybody knows that the offensive line must have had a good game.
Coach, after watching the films, how well did the offensive line play?
They played really, really well, especially Evan and Kevin McHale and John Lyon. Those guys all graded out, did a great, outstanding job. Evan graded out the highest of all the offensive linemen. And Kevin McHale was sick during the game and still graded out and did a real good job there. Deserves an extra pat on the back.
Evan, you've bounced around between center and guard actually both seasons. Is there a position you prefer?
The coaches asked me after last season which I'd rather play. I said, if it was up to me, I'd like to play guard. I played center all through high school and just like the change. I like to pull, and I like to get off the ball a little, get back. But to me, I was willing to play wherever they wanted me to play. It wasn't going to affect me one way or the other.
And that's a great situation for you, Coach. You've had some injuries in the offense line. You've had some problems. And to have a player who can move positions, that's got to be a big plus.
Yeah, you can take some other people that can't play a lot of positions and plug them in where they play best and then put Fitzy in wherever we feel we need him.
Okay. Evan, how well do you feel the offensive line is coming together? Was this the breakthrough game for you? Or, you still have 3 ball games left. Did you feel like this was the breakthrough game for the offensive line?
I think this was a big game for the offensive line. I think beating Butler and rushing the ball fairly well against Butler and putting up enough points to beat Butler was a big win for the whole team and the offensive line. This game, I think everybody's going to rally on and get a lot of confidence going into Dayton, and I hope everybody on the offensive line thinks, is real confident about being able to rush the ball. And the coaches challenged us before the game. They said we're going to, it's up to us. We want to rush the ball. We want to go outside against these guys. If we can do that successfully, then, you're going to have the opportunity to run block, and that's what everybody wants to do.
You talk about run blocking. Here we go. Ozzie Young rushes 84 yards on this play. And Evan, let's talk about the play call. It's a play you ran many times, the option to the right side. And it's a play which never worked any better.
No, every time it was called, I think everybody was real confident about what they were doing. We thought, we knew Ozzie was better than their skill positions, and we just wanted to give him the chance, and we make a hole for him, and he's just going to have great things happen.
And Coach, again, the option was a successful play because of the speed. Was that the main reason why? Because Ozzie's speed to get to the outside was something they couldn't control?
Yeah, number one, we have better skill people than they do. Number two, they didn't defend the option well against us last year, and they didn't do it again this year. They have a problem defending the option and the perimeter game, and we're going to attack that as long as they don't know how to get the job done there.
Okay, how about Dayton? Struggled against them last year, to say the least. 10 turnovers against the Flyers a year ago. Obviously, you can't get away with that and win a football game.
One thing that's important to recognize about last year's game, they scored 6 times on us, 5 touchdowns and a field goal. Every time Dayton started with the football on their side of the 50, they did not score. Every score came when we gave them the ball on our side of the 50.
Okay.
You have to make Dayton go the length of the field.
Okay. Couple keys to the game.
Field position, like I just mentioned, making Dayton go the length of the field, being able to run the football against Dayton like we did this past week. Those are some real keys.
Okay. 1:30 is the kickoff. Now, besides this ball game, there's another very key game in the Pioneer Football League, Coach, and we've talked about it. There you have it. Butler at home against Evansville. Can the Aces do it?
I think the Aces can do it with the people they have as far as passing. Now, whether they'll have the ball enough, based upon Mickens only carries the ball, 50, 55 times a game, they may not see the ball a lot on offense, and they have to take advantage of the opportunities when they get them on offense. I don't know if mentally they're ready to attack Butler, though, but physically, I think they've got the talent to deal with them.
Okay. How are you health-wise? We saw Trevor Bell come out late in the football game. Obviously, he's a key football player for you.
I think he's definitely questionable. I don't know. He had a hyperextended knee, so that's obviously an injury, but it's not a serious type of an injury. It's not the twisting ligament type of damage that you normally would get in a serious knee injury. So we'll see how he comes along, but he's definitely questionable for this weekend. Okay, big ball game against Dayton. It's an opportunity for the Crusaders to share a conference title. If they do get the victory, and even if Butler does win, it's a fine season in the conference for the Crusaders, who are over the 500 mark and would lock up over the 500 mark for every football game. The Crusaders would be 6-2, and that would wrap up their best season in at least 8 years. We thank Evan Fitzgerald for coming in. We thank the head coach, Tom Horne. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week here on Valparaiso University Football.
Valparaiso University Football is underwritten by the following: